Sports Snippets! Dennis Sullivan. How in the world are you doing, guys? It is late night Saturday, the 2nd of October. How in the world are you doing? Here to discuss some college football. Spent a decent part of this Saturday right in front of the television on my couch, just enjoying it. Want to talk to you about a couple of games I had the chance to see. Most of which bits and pieces. I watched the second half of a handful of games, it appears. Before I get started, if you do like the content, this particular video, go right ahead, hit that thumbs up. That would be awesome. And subscribe. Feel free to subscribe to my channel, Sports Snippets with Dennis Sullivan. So let's get started, guys. It was definitely an enjoyable Saturday. And as I make this video, I mean, you got a lot of action going on right now at nighttime on Saturday night. You even have a nice SEC battle getting ready to get started right now, which, as I make this video, Auburn at LSU, which is actually 2 3-1 teams. I'm going to go check that out a little bit after this video. That looks like a nice 9 p.m. Eastern matchup. Going to check that out. But guys, what got me into the whole flow of things today, to kick things off at 12 noon Eastern, we had second-ranked Georgia hosting the 8th-ranked Arkansas Razorbacks. And let me tell you, now this is what really got, as I just mentioned, just got me into the flow of college football here today. I'm thinking this is going to be a really good one, maybe go down to the wire. It was nothing even close to that. This game was all Georgia, and that defense was dominant. It was every bit what it's played up to be. Second-ranked Georgia, and I tell you what, you can even make the case for them to be ranked number 1 right now. I mean, I know you have Alabama is a super powerhouse. Without question, those are the 2 heavyweight teams, really. It's Georgia and Alabama right now, and then with all due respect to the other teams, it does have that feel, doesn't it? Where it's those 2 teams and then kind of everyone else, even if you're still undefeated. Like, for example, the Iowa Hawkeyes, who we will talk about in just a second, and a few others. But Georgia, that final, I mean, that would finish up 37-0. I mean, they made Arkansas look like almost like they weren't even in the same conference or league or whatever, or division, or I mean, it was a mismatch. This was a mismatch. So Georgia, Alabama, and they're on this collision course to play. I could see them playing either in the SEC. Well, first off, in the SEC championship. Don't be surprised if you see them not only playing the SEC championship, but in the playoff itself as well. This could be one of those deals where they wind up playing each other twice, potentially. Now there are other teams that would benefit. So the other storyline today, Georgia was a big storyline. There were 2 other games that jump out. Oregon, guys, 3rd-ranked Oregon goes into Stanford and loses in overtime. Who would have thought this? 31-24. Stanford playing their second-string quarterback, moving the ball. When they were down, it was 24-17. So I watched about most of the second half of that one I got to see. And second-string quarterback for Stanford, he was moving the ball, and they're down late on that last drive, 24-17. Here comes Stanford. They tie it up. They go into overtime. They score quickly in overtime and wind up winning this one, guys, by a touchdown in overtime. You never would have convinced me that Oregon would lose that game. But I tell you what, I mean, that's a big credit to the Pac-12. And it extends above and beyond, really, in my humble opinion, college football, because we saw what they were all about in March Madness last year with just team after team after team playing well in the college basketball tournament. And now that conference proving to be every bit as advertised, maybe even more than what they're advertised, with a big win by Stanford, who comes in at 2-2 into that game They improved to 3-2 and beat previously third-ranked Oregon in maybe the upset of the day. That is your top 25, in my opinion, upset of the day. The other big, highly publicized matchup, 7th-ranked Cincinnati Bearcats go into Notre Dame. They play the ninth-ranked Fighting Irish, and they pull off the victory against Notre Dame 24-13. That's a big win for the Cincinnati program. They will move up a notch or two. They're going to be right at the top 5 now. Are they going to be a playoff team? They very well could be. I saw their schedule. They showed it on TV. It's now very winnable. But that could work either way. Cincinnati can't lose, though, either, guys. They basically have to win out. That works both ways. You can't really have an off game against, like Temple or something, who I believe is also on their schedule, just throwing out a random team. But you can't, if you're Cincinnati, though, you got some pressure on you, though. You got to win out. They win out, though, they now have a very good chance to be in the playoff, guys. That was a big win. They look tough on both sides of the ball. Was watching the second half of that one. Cincinnati misses 2 field goals in the second half. They had clear control that game, 17-0, but then you miss a couple field goals, allow a couple big plays on offense. Next thing you know, here come the Irish with 17-7. Then they cut it to 17-13, but then Notre Dame misses the extra point. You can't do that. Cincinnati scores quickly on the next possession. 24-13, that's where it would end. Iowa, as mentioned, they ranked 5th going into this week. They will move up with the Oregon loss, guys. They destroyed Maryland 51-14. If you're an Iowa fan, you got to feel good about things. That's another big winner of this weekend. Oklahoma, okay, they pull out a 6-point win in Kansas State. But guess what? Oklahoma Sooners, who were ranked 6th, should also move up. Yeah, you beat Kansas State 37-31, but that's a conference game that they win on the road. Hey, there's something to be said for that. Michigan was another big winner this week, 14th ranked, going into this weekend, undefeated. Maybe getting a little bit of a brush from the voters in the rankings. Maybe getting a little bit of a lack of respect, and that can happen due to schedule and that type of thing, and you can it can hurt your ranking, at least temporarily. They look to move up. They're going to be smelling that top 10 now. The big win in Wisconsin. They win going away in style, 38-17. That is a huge victory for the Wolverines. Florida's playing as I make this video, so I can't really comment on them, but they were 10th ranked going into this weekend. But you got to like, those handful of teams, guys, are big winners this weekend. Iowa, Michigan, University of Cincinnati, Oklahoma, they get the job done. Poor Oregon loses, guys. Oregon goes down to defeat. I did not see that coming, especially after they won at Ohio State. Another team that'll take this weekend's results is Ohio State. They were ranked 11th going in. They were victorious this weekend as well. What about Coastal Carolina, ranked 16th? See, but they're penalized by their schedule, guys. They beat Louisiana Monroe 59-6. But these last 2 seasons, Coastal Carolina has been a top 20 team. I'd like to hear your thoughts on that. And, of course, guys, Alabama. And before I get to Alabama and close out this video, Penn State, Indiana are playing one another as I put this video together. Penn State, of course, ranked number 4 in the nation going into this weekend. Very good team, having a very good season. Alabama, guys, I mean, it just doesn't get old, does it? I mean, they won 42-21 against previously 12th ranked and unbeaten Ole Miss. But it seems like it wasn't even that close. I mean, they jumped out to like a 21-0 lead. Alabama, this Alabama, Georgia are on a collision course. That's going to be a huge matchup when they do get together. I'm assuming in the SEC championship. Is Alabama the best team right now? I mean, it's a safe prediction to say that they are, but I got to tell you guys, I think really it's team 1 and 1A right now. I think it's Alabama, Georgia for different reasons. I mean, Alabama is just a well-rounded, awesome offensive team. One of the better Alabama teams I've seen in years on the offensive side of the ball. Plenty of firepower. Georgia, I mean, they scored 37 points. That was technically their backup quarterback today. Their defense is amazing. Those are the two best teams. Penn State, don't look for Penn State to move up to third now, more than likely. Penn State and Iowa to round out your top four, with Oklahoma and Cincinnati right behind them. Cincinnati may leapfrog Oklahoma, though. Well, I mean, not that really is that big of a deal in early October. They could. Let me know what you think, guys. Plenty going on here. Oh, and one other team to keep an eye on. They've been on national television a lot at night this season. They are undefeated. BYU. Brigham Young, a little bit of a sleeper team. I like them. They don't really play that easy of a schedule. They really don't. I mean, they play some good teams out west. They were 13th going into this weekend. They defeated Utah State, and that was a Friday night game. So look for BYU to be somewhere in the neighborhood of like 11th in the nation, guys. Maybe, I don't even know. Are they going to get 10th? Could they crack the top 10? BYU is going to be right near the top 10, guys, or at the top 10. So keep them in mind as well. If you do follow college football, you got to at least keep an eye on this team. They've been very impressive this season. So it's a lot of fun talking to you guys. Like to get on here, talk some sports. I haven't had much of a chance to get on and talk about college football. Hope you're enjoying the season so far. Let me know what you think, guys. Once again, Oregon, third-ranked Oregon, goes down to the Stanford Cardinal in overtime. Big news. And Cincinnati wins in Notre Dame. And how about those Georgia Bulldogs? Not only victorious against Arkansas, easily victorious, 37-0. That was the surprise. I thought we'd get a much more competitive game. Leave me some comments. Go ahead and hit that thumbs up. We'll talk again soon. Bye for now.